Hey buddy, Brooks from Drag Times here. Welcome back to the channel. It is dyno day for the McLaren 765 LT. Weather is pretty amazing here in South Florida. Cold front just came through. It's like 55 degrees, so it should be great dyno weather. Maybe we'll do some performance testing as well. I'm heading up to Hydra Motorsports. They have an all-wheel drive linked dyno. We'll go over why we need an all-wheel link drive dyno for a rear-wheel drive car when we get there. And also, it's a great comparison because they have dynoed stock McLaren 720Ss. So we'll also be able to do direct comparisons between 765 and 720 and see exactly how much power this car makes over its predecessor. Let's get rolling. All right, little cold start in the 765. Let's get this thing fired up. All right, just before hitting the dyno, I'm filling up with some pump gas here at the Sunoco. This is Sunoco 260 GT. It is 100 octane, just to make sure the car doesn't complain about anything, and we'll get the most amount of power we can. I'm not sure it even makes a difference, 93 or 100. Nevertheless, since this gas station was near the dyno, we might as well just give it a try. So here we go, pump gas, $9 a gallon. Not cheap. So we're up here at Hydra Motorworks on their DynoJet dyno, but in order to dyno any of the McLarens, you got to remove the rear diffuser. Check out underneath the 765. Maybe not many people have seen it yet, but right here you got the rear diffuser. You got rear brake ducts over here, really flat underneath. And then up front you can see carbon diffuser. This is different from the 720 as well. And then these little bumper skid plates are different than on the 765 and the 720. You got the diffuser off, we can actually get this thing on the dyno, get it strapped down. Actually, I have a special tool that will get the car into dyno mode. This will allow us to dyno the car in, well, it's rear wheel drive, but typically you have to dyno these with linked rollers. So you'll see McLarens on the dyno spinning off four wheels, even though they are rear wheel drive. That's because the car complains it doesn't see the front wheel spinning. In this case, we'll be able to trick the car into dyno mode and then actually just run it on the rear wheel. So diffuser's off, we're gonna roll the car around and put it on the dyno right now. All right, so since all dynos read differently, the number's kind of arbitrary. So what we have here is a stock 720S that they did on the dyno, and this dyno made 659 horsepower to the wheels. Yes, I know you saw my 720 made 691 horsepower, some of them made 700. Of course, those are different dynos, different calibrations. So at least we have a stock 720 to compare against the 765 on the same dyno. So go ahead and pause the video right now and guess how much horsepower the 765 will make. And of course, make sure you base your numbers off what you see a stock one making in this dyno, which was 660 wheel horsepower. I'm going to guess that this car is going to make 765 to the wheels. Kyle, what do you think?
Yeah, I think about there as well.
So we're just going for 765, let the name of the car.
Which is crazy,
yeah?
Because like you said, the 720 made 660, so we're throwing this car where it's wheel horsepower the same as what they're advertising.
What they're advertising. Yeah, I mean, it's actually 755 horsepower, but the car's got to be making more. I mean, we trapped 151 in this car. That's 6 mile an hour faster than my best in the 720. And at 3,000 pounds, that's a good 80 horsepower. Of course, there's gearing changes to deal with too, right? So
yes, I think that's a tremendous advantage too, is that 15% shorter gear ratio.
Yep, yep. And for drivetrain losses, I think we're about 10 to 13% on this car. You know, I'm gonna go with 12 or 13%. All right, so now we're putting the car into dyno mode. You all connected up with the laptop?
Yep.
765 on the dyno, let's see it. It literally just made 765 horsepower to the wheels. Wow.
I'm the closest.
Look at the difference in the 720 versus the 765. It carries the power all across the band here, way higher. Wow. I cannot believe we guessed it on the number. So 765 horsepower. Are we gonna make another pass right now? You wanna make another one? All right, here we go, one more pass. Made a little more power right there, didn't lose any. So 770 wheel horsepower. The gear goes by so fast though, geez. All right, we're gonna give it one more try in 6th gear because it goes by so fast. All right, Kyle, so when McLaren says they're making you a 765, they're giving you a 7, we both guessed that.
Giving you a 765.
The first dyno number was on the button. 765 horsepower to the wheels. You can see it right here. We actually made another pass, and it actually made a little more power and put down 769 horsepower.
And 0.96, so you're easily 770.
So
right
770 horsepower.
And this is still South Florida. Yes, it's a cold day today here,
Yeah.
but it's still
But the dyno,
65 degrees.
Correct, but the dyno actually does correct for temperatures. So it's actually pulling power away due to the temperature here because it is a good temperature day. We're using a 13% correction factor based on a previous video I did where Ford actually released the dyno results to me for a DCT. It's about 13%. That is 885 horsepower in the McLaren 765. Now, of course, that's just this dyno. We're gonna bring up now their stock 720. The best, we took the best stock 720 dyno result. We're gonna bring that up right now so you can compare and see 720 versus 765. You'll see a huge, huge difference. All right, so now we got the McLaren 720S graph up here and you can see the difference. All across the range right here, you can see how much more power the 765 is making. It is over 110 horsepower more on the dyno than the 720S. All right, so there you go. 765 on the dyno made 765 horsepower to the rear wheels, 110 horsepower more than a 720S. 13% driveline loss put this car at 885 horsepower. I guess that explains why it is so ridiculously fast. Special thanks to Hydra Motorworks for having me out on the dyno today. And hit that thumbs up button and like this video. That helps out the channel. As always, thanks for watching.